You ever notice that all the musicians and all the people and all the celebrities and that have power, that have numbers, that have audiences, once they speak up, once they change, once they go against the grain, they seem to die. There is something so obvious that has been bothering me for a long time. I want to talk about it just a little bit. I have something that I now trust called intuition. The moment that Prince died, I knew right away that he was murdered. Now, I didn't have any evidence. I didn't do any research. I didn't have what most people would call the smoking gun. But it was a feeling that came over me that went, this is getting very common. I don't know in what order chronologically that Prince's death fell among all of these folks that I'm talking about. But it was a very loud feeling to me. I had the same exact feeling as loud when Michael Jackson died. And what happens is as soon as the information comes out, Michael Jackson died, something goes, they killed him in my head. Real loud. Same voice kind of thing, same energy, both with Prince and with Michael Jackson. There's more, but I'm not going to get into all. So then you just do a little research, and you start to realize that this is a trend that you can find across the history of time. And in this case, we're going to talk about race because Michael and Prince were both black. And it seemed as though when the black man in America moves forward and moves ahead in a great way, that they need to have sacrifice in some way. They need to be literally a slave in some way. And that's why, if you don't understand, that's why Prince changed his name to the artist formerly known as Prince, because the contracts written made his name, Prince, feel like a slave, feel like that they owned him. So he said, oh, I'm no longer that person. I'm now the symbol, which was a legal way to dodge and avoid the way they wrote up those contracts. He wasn't that person anymore. What I'm getting at is once you understand, I'm going back to the same topic I keep talking about, the people who are hunting me and taking me down, is the occult. Now, when I say this word, it's very, very, what is that? It's so dark and crazy, but it's the best way to describe the combination of people who do evil things together and who use the system to protect themselves, along with money and power and leverage. And America is not a country like China or Russia, okay? It is actually a business. It's a corporation. The entities that are inside of it can make a lot of money by using the people here as employees to create the service or product that they then sell. And that is a known thing. That is not something I want to open up too much of. You got to go look all this up. That's why Washington, D.C. is not a state, it's a district. And you're going to see again that we are connected to the past by Freemasons, the Tartarians, the Rockefellers and all the elites, and a whole bunch of other people who have conglomerated to control, create, and undermine the stories and the history of our country. Yes, there are some truths about it, but even inside of the Constitution and all the stories of history and all the wars and the fights, there has been money and power who has distributed the weapons and the gunpowder and the violence on both sides and made a lot of money doing it. So imagine you have the British and the Americans fighting in the Revolutionary War, and we hear all these stories and we know about the Tea Party, but both sides are being funded by the same families. That's what you need to understand. The elite play with us like toys. They are bored. They don't go to the movie theater. They don't take a cruise. They own the cruise ships. They built 50 movie theaters. So for them to find pleasure on this miserable world, they toy with us. We are their entertainment. They poison us, they drug us, they invent stuff, they buy They invent, they create states and they create countries and they create islands. And then we go to them and they watch. And it's a very strange thing, but it's understandable. Not all of them are looking to kill us or eat us or something weird. But because they're so bored and so powerful, yes, they do have very strange rituals. And those rituals have impacted what we live and how we live and what we believe is true or untrue. And that's just how it is. So, to be more and more aware of this is to be free. Once you are aware of it, you don't fall for it all the time. It's tricky. If you're a teacher, I was a teacher, you have to tell everybody the lies. But what else are you going to do? So just be aware that people around us are being compromised without you even knowing. And Prince was one of them. Prince knew he was going to be killed. I don't know the story all that well, but there's a famous video of him pacing near his SUV, is a big van, kind of SUV, and he's at Walmart and he's pacing and he's looking terrified, and he would be dead very soon after. He knew people were going to come and kill him. So that threat is always part of the occult's day-to-day. I'm threatened all the time, both physically, face-to-face, whispers, texts, messaging. If you listen closely, the neighbors, they're all crazy. While I'm talking about death, you'll hear knocks, and highly surveilled all the time. I mean, we're living in crazy times. So the point I'm making is that when you start to realize that everybody seems to be compromised, and now Jeffrey Epstein is completely innocent, this is crazy. You just have to see it as backwards. Everything is backwards. They tell you what they're going to do before they do it. The Texas floods. Did you know they were cloud seeding like crazy? Did you know that blue rain fell right before the floods? Do you know that in these occults, in this higher level occultism, sacrificing is common? I've been given up as a sacrifice by many. They had to humiliate me. I'm a humiliation ritual in order to show other Freemasons, because they're afraid that they will bow down and kiss their feet. I am the person they use. People that I thought loved me or my friends, they all scapegoated me because the big hand of the occult said, you're gonna say your friend is this, right, buddy? Or we're gonna do this. And they said, of course, Greg is everything you need him to be, sir. Because I am a weak loser who fucked up my life and I'm not really a man. But I understand you have to do that. So this reality drives the world. And it breaks your heart when you realize the truth. So I've committed myself now to 51 years of love and helpfulness, and I've been a victim and a martyr by accident and on purpose. And I'm now realizing I can't fight these people. This is crazy. But just know that here's the list of people that were murdered for the occult, okay? Michael Jackson. Now, this is my opinion, but if you want to know more, I'll extend on it. I'm not going to tell you where to find evidence. I will fight any fight, and I can prove this stuff. I'm not shy. Okay, these are the people that I am so firmly believe were killed by the occult. Michael Jackson, Prince, Whitney Houston, John Belushi, Shannon Hoon from Blind Melon, Chris Farley, Robin Williams. Let me switch gears. Amy Winehouse. I'm going to stop with that because it can get a little bit too intense. So one of the ways, this is something, I'm going to end with this too. If the young people are watching, the most popular way, Elvis Presley, Bob Marley. I want to add that to the mix. The best way to kill somebody and get away with it, and women know this because they do this kind of stuff the most, is to taint that which they ingest. So when you're doing drugs as much as the people I listed, a lot of people think that, oh, nobody knows that Tom sells Coke. I'm going to get my Coke from Tom. Tom's good to me. I've known Tom my whole life, okay? What you don't know is the occult knows exactly what Tom is doing. The occult knows all the customers Tom has. The occult knows how to access every bit of information because the compromised people are powerful enough to scare anybody. You can get your details from the stock market because the occult will scare the stockbroker. The drug dealer will be watched by the cop who's owned by the occult, and on and on and on. Everything, the votes, remember the stolen votes? Nothing is secure. Your safety deposit box is entered at any time. Everything is owned by what I'm calling the occult, okay? But that word is like a multifaceted word. It has many legs to it. A lot of different people. And it's around the world. The American version happens to be one of the most powerful versions, but the same concept exists all around the world. And it's men. Men. They use women to entrap more men. But women are not in the club like men are. Women serve the club. It's men. Horribly, horribly disgusting men. Now, when I tell you all those people I listed were murdered or killed, it's because they taint the drugs. John Belushi did not die by accident. That woman, Kathy Smith, was known to be evil. Gordon Lightfoot wrote a song about her being evil. The band wrote a song about her being evil. I pulled into Nazareth. I was feeling about 10:30. That's about Kathy Smith. Ooh, you better be there. Sundown, I think it's a sin. Gordon Lightfoot, that's about Kathy Smith. When she arrived, she brought the heroin that they would add to the cocaine that Robin Williams left there that would kill John at 33 years old. How old was Jesus when he died? He was 33. They love the number 33. It's all part of the occult. John was Albanian. And it was said that the Albanian mafia didn't like his success. That's usually what it is. The occult has feelings that are of the lowest low. They are the jealous, the envious. They are the 7 sins people. They are not they can't create, so they kill creators, or they control them. They can't love, so they kill lovers. They can't dream, so they kill dreamers and control them. When they say mafia, they say that means a cult. When they say cartel, that means a cult. When they say occult, that means a cult. When they say some religious stuff, that usually means a cult. See what I'm saying? This is all dark and depressing, but man, I wish it wasn't real, because now I know it's real. Jesus, I'm going to be this is going to sound religious. Jesus knew it was real. He was one of the most heaviest gang-stalked people pre-technology in the world. They watched him. The women were brutal. That's part of it. You don't have to hate them, but your life is better if you respect them. Peace.